Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an excellent day today. For this week's video, we're going to look at 3 country licks for people who don't play country. Let's check them out. So today we're going to kick off a new mini-series on the channel. We're going to start off obviously with 3 country licks for people who don't play country, and then we'll do 3 jazz licks for people who don't play jazz, 3 rock licks for people who don't play rock, and so on and so forth. Now there's so many interesting techniques that we can assimilate and make our own from various genres, even if it's not our main playing style. So that's the goal of this series, to kind of widen our scope and sort of grab some of these interesting licks from different genres and add it into your own bag of tricks. For today's video, we're going to be using Fender's Thin Line Super Deluxe guitar, plugged straight into the computer via Moore's Preamp Live. Nice small footprint with an XLR out, makes it very easy to connect to the computer. Now, as you guys can see, the tab will be on the screen, so you can follow along there. If you want a paper copy, you can go ahead and grab that from my Patreon page. Other than that, I've organized this mini lesson into levels. So the first lick will be level 1 and the easiest, and level 3 will be the most difficult. So see if you can stick around and master that one. All right, you guys, let's start with lick number 1. Now, all 3 licks are going to be based around a G chord, and we're just going to play it like this without the B note on 5th string. Now, the reason I picked this lick for number 1 is because most of the time, if I'm going to vamp on a G chord, I'll use the notes in behind the chord. So I might use the A note on 3rd string here, something like that, or I might vamp off the B note and the E note, or I might slide in. All really great stuff. So these 3 notes on 5th string, 4th string, and 3rd string, bread and butter kind of notes. But what I wanted to do with our first lick is change it up a little bit. So we're going to be using the minor 3rd and the flat 7. So kind of notes with a little bit more attitude. So here's the flat 3rd, and here's the 7th. So those are the notes. Let's look at the first part of the lick. All right, here's the first bar. Really great notes, lots of color in there. So we're going to go play, pull off, play, play. And then we repeat, play, pull off, play, play. And then a little mini bend on our flat 7. Pull it off, and a G chord. So here's what it sounds like at a medium speed. Now measure 2 is based off a major pentatonic, and it's a classic country lick. So there's your major pentatonic scale. If you're not used to those, follow the link right now. I've got lots of worksheets and stuff based on pentatonic scales. Really great stuff, but here's the lick. So we're going to start with a hammer-on from a D to an E note. And I like to kind of mute the next 2. I only showed on the tab muting 1, but I think it sounds better if you kind of mute 2. That kind of thing, okay? So you can kind of choose if you want to mute both or just 1. But yeah, there you go. And if you're still learning and you can't get that full bend, you could do like a half bend. It just sort of gives it a more bluesy flavor, I think, instead of a country flavor. So if you just want to do like a little mini half bend, that's totally cool as well. So here's the full lick at a nice medium tempo. Here we go. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed level number 1. Let's move on to level number 2. We cannot play country without playing some thirds. Let's check out the lick. All right, for our level 2 lick, we're going to ditch the pick and just use our fingers. So we're going to use our thumb and index finger, or thumb and middle finger, whichever is most comfortable for you guys. And we're going to be using our 3rd string and our 1st string. Or with your index finger. Okay, so here's the beginning of that lick. And to make it sound country, really popping that 1st string helps. So dig in with that finger and give those staccato notes. Okay, so I use thirds all the time in various solos and stuff, and they can be found in all over the guitar neck. So really cool stuff. I have a worksheet that covers all the thirds, so you can find that. I'll pop it a card to it right now. So if you want to check that out, the thirds are absolutely awesome. Great way to kind of mix up a solo or just create something, you know, really nice and cool. So anyway, great stuff, and we got to use it for a country lick. So here's the full lick. Now here we transition strings. Thankfully, it's the same shape. You just bring them up a string. And then opens, and then we're going to end here with our C and A, and then G. Okay, let's do that again nice and slow. And a little bit quicker. Now, of course, all these licks are movable, so if you wanted to do it in the key of A instead of the key of G, all you'd have to do is move up 2 frets and play the same thing. So really cool stuff. Now, the way I wrapped up this lick is with a little G chord flourish. So here's the whole thing again. And then I have a little lick that goes on either side of the G chord. So. Okay, I'll do that one more time. And that's the whole lick. All right, you guys, let's move on to our final lick and level number 3. So this is going to be the most difficult of the bunch. Now, I used an extended version of this lick on my Maple versus Rosewood video, which is probably 2 or 3 years old by now, but this lick still remains one of my favorites. So let's check it out and break it down. Now, in terms of our right hand, you guys could play it a number of different ways. You can use your fingers like I did to really give it that country pop. You could do hybrid picking, where you take a pick on 3rd string and a finger on 2nd string. So a little bit trickier, but if you're used to doing that. Or you could just use your full pick and, you know, just pick it. And for that, I think I'm more comfortable doing an upstroke than a down, rather than down and up. But anyway, feel free to do whatever is comfortable for you. I think for this demo, I'm going to be using my fingers. Here we go. Now to kick off the lick, we're going to start by playing the flat 7 note. And obviously that resolves up 1 full tone to the root, to the G. Now starting on the flat 7 really gives it some attitude, and just like we did on lick number 1, that's the flat 7 right there. Really great kind of dissonance and really pulls hard to the root. So to start a lick on there really gives it some great attitude. So we're going to just start by doing some pull-offs and then open 3rd string. And that last one doesn't resolve to the 3rd string. It just pulls off to the 2nd. Now here's where we go major minor, or I should say minor major. Okay, with the flat 7 and the minor, kind of gives it an interesting major minor feel. So that's phrase number 1. Now phrase number 2 I find a little bit more difficult, but really fun to play and really rewarding to learn. So see if you guys can master this one. So we're going to start with some hammers and then some pulls. Okay, and again, this is off the major pentatonic scale. Okay, so here's the whole thing. So those are 3 of my favorite country-inspired licks. Now, if you guys don't play country as one of your main genres, hopefully you can grab some interesting ideas. That's the whole point of the series, is kind of breaking out of our stylistic boxes and grabbing some neat and interesting ideas from genres we might not, typically play. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this series and enjoyed the licks. The rest of my information will be on the screen right now. You guys can grab some of those worksheets from the tab store if you want like a Tele or a Strat or Les Paul shirt. Follow the link in the video description below. You can grab those there. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Have a great week. Take care.